Jalen Brown's MMA career.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about it. So at All-Star break, during his media availability, Jalen Brown said that he was considering having a career in mixed martial arts or boxing after his NBA career was over, and that he has
Mm-hmm.
spoken to Dana White about this.
Mm-hmm.
First reaction, because how many Celtics is Dana White personally friends with? Because Kristaps Porzingis also had a statement similar to this, and
Yeah.
Dana White was asked about it. He said that he considers Kristaps a personal friend, and that they always have dinner when they're in the same city together. But that he thought Kristaps would need a few amateur fights before going into the UFC, and a lot of guys quit after their first amateur fight. Was his
Mm.
response. Dana White's a big Celtics fan. I know he sits courtside at a lot of games. Is he somehow like incepting these guys into wanting to fight? Is it a Joe Mazzulla thing? Like, how has MMA kind of gotten into the Celtics locker room?
I have no clue. I know that Jaylen Brown has been interested in martial arts for a long time. I know during off seasons he's frequently tried different stuff.
I mean, his grandfather was a boxer. He's
Yeah.
boxed since a young age.
And I forget if it was kung fu or karate, but I know that there was a season, an off season that he spent in China doing that for a few weeks.
He did Muay Thai, I think, last off
That's what it
season.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dana White, leave us alone. I don't know. Because
I
here's the
want to
thing:
see
is
it.
like I want Jaylen Brown to spend
I'm
the
not
rest of his
against this.
career with the Celtics, and I would
Okay.
like that to last like another 10 years or something like that. At that point, I don't want to see Jaylen Brown get killed by like a heavyweight who's 24 years old when Jalen's 38.
See, this brings me to my next point. Because MMA is a sport, people start on the older side. At one time, the average age that a UFC fighter started martial arts was 20. A lot of guys in the UFC were like linemen in the NFL and then decide to switch over. Can you guess the oldest debut of a fighter in the UFC? I looked this up for this question.
I feel like
Ron
there's
Van
gotta.
Cleef.
I'm wondering if there's like a gimmick guy, kind of like Mike Tyson was like, I'm 54, I'm gonna come back and fight Jake Paul or something like that.
He wasn't famous.
Okay.
He was just a tough dude.
I'm gonna guess 38.
51.
That's crazy. How many fights did he have in his career?
He had like three. He wasn't like a
Okay.
long-term fighter. I think the best like comp, if you wanted to talk like very recent UFC and a guy who had a long career, is Renzo Gracie, who started at 38 and then fought into his 50s. So there are guys who have done it.
Yeah.
Like Joe Mazzulla is 37. Like there's still time if
I
Joe
think
Mazzulla.
I would be more okay with Joe Mazzulla joining the MMA than I would with Jaylen Brown. Um,
So he, like, if Jalen Brown played until he was 35, he could easily still fight in the UFC. Um, my last point. Well, okay, I have two. One, Jalen Brown is 6'6" and currently listed at 223 pounds. Okay? If he fights at heavyweight, he would be going up against some guys who are 6'8", 260. Now, Jalen Brown's athletic, but I feel like if he's going into a fight, he's going to want to rely on his height to some extent.
mhm.
And I
So you think he
don't know.
slims down?
That's the thing. If he could get to 205 and fight at light heavyweight,
Yeah.
he'd be going up against like some Peyton Pritchard sized guys. A lot of UFC fighters cut 15 pounds of water weight. How committed is Jalen Brown to this? And is he willing to do like a dehydration to just like wreck the light heavyweight division?
I could see it, but Jaylen Brown is also he is such an unpredictable character in terms of his off the court interests Where I could see Jaylen Brown also just being like, yeah, after I'm done with basketball, I'm going to become a cellist in like the New York Symphony Orchestra. Like, there's nothing that Jaylen Brown could say, I've decided to do this after I retire, where I think I would be that surprised. He's like, yeah, I could see him doing that. I could see him really committing to it.
Well, I could also see him taking a year off, possibly doing some TRT, eating 400 grams of protein a day, and just coming back as like
Getting
a
up to 260.
260 jacked
Yeah.
MMA fighter.